There is a paradox that almost no one understands. The quieter you become, the more powerful you grow. In a world that constantly shouts, defends itself, and tries to prove everything all the time, God's chosen ones learn something that sounds almost crazy. Silence is not weakness, it is a spiritual weapon. And maybe that's exactly why you've been attacked, judged, and criticized, even when you did nothing wrong. If you've ever felt that the more you try to explain yourself, the worse things get, if you've noticed that your peace bothers certain people, or if you feel like you carry something inside you that you can't fully explain, but you know it's spiritual, this video is for you. Here, you'll understand why God teaches some people to remain silent, how silence protects your spiritual energy, and why it is part of God's plans for the chosen ones. Now comment below. Do you usually react, or do you stay silent? I want to know. And before we continue, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This content might be exactly the spiritual awakening you need today. There's something almost no one teaches. Silence has never been a sign of weakness, but of spiritual understanding. Many of God's chosen ones spend their lives hearing criticism, judgment, and attacks without ever provoking anyone. And yet something curious happens. The more they stay silent, the more they disturb others. That's because silence carries a spiritual energy that disarms those who expect reaction, confrontation, or explanation, deeply confusing those who live on the surface. Those who are chosen often suffer in silence not because they accept injustice, but because they have already experienced a spiritual awakening. There is a positive energy that surrounds those who understand God's plans, and that energy doesn't need to shout to be felt. While the world teaches you to react, prove, and defend yourself, spirituality teaches the opposite. Some battles are won precisely when you choose not to fight, and that hurts those who live off conflict, noise, and emotional chaos. Then comes a quiet but uncomfortable truth. Maybe God is teaching you to remain silent, not to diminish you, but to protect you. Maybe silence is the greatest weapon of the chosen ones, because not everyone deserves access to your pain, your story, or God's plans for your life. And once this is understood, an inevitable question arises. Who are these chosen ones after all? And why do they provoke so much resistance without doing anything? God's chosen ones are not perfect, untouchable, or superior to others, as many imagine. They are ordinary people with flaws and struggles, but they carry something different, a more sensitive spirituality and a spiritual awakening that changes how they see the world. They don't need to announce themselves or prove anything, because their posture, their silence, and their spiritual energy already reveal who they are. And it's precisely this quiet difference that starts to bother others. In daily life, this appears subtly. At work, someone starts competing for no reason. In the family, criticism comes disguised as concern. Among friends, distance grows without explanation. The positive energy of the chosen ones works like a mirror, revealing insecurities, frustrations, and wounds that many would rather ignore. Those who haven't awakened spiritually feel this contrast as a threat, even if they can't explain why. Here's a truth that changes everything. Attacks never happen by accident. No one tries to destroy what has no value. When someone is bothered by your peace, your silence, or the way you live, it's because something in you touches God's plans directly. The danger comes when, under pressure, a harmful impulse appears. The desire to explain yourself, justify yourself, and be accepted by everyone. That's exactly where many begin to weaken without realizing it. There is a silent exhaustion many of God's chosen ones experience without noticing. The constant need to explain themselves, explaining intentions, justifying decisions, defending actions that should never be on trial. It seems harmless, but over time it drains spiritual energy and weakens inner confidence. Those who try to be understood by everyone slowly drift away from their own spiritual awakening. Not everyone deserves explanations, and that's a hard truth to accept. Some people don't want to understand. They want control. They want to distort your words and maintain emotional power. When someone has already decided to see you in the worst light, No explanation will ever be enough. In fact, the more you speak, the more material you provide for criticism, gossip, and judgment. In these moments, silence is not escape, it's protection. Just notice what happens after a long argument full of justifications. The body feels tired, the mind restless, the heart heavy. But when silence is chosen, something shifts inside. Positive energy is preserved and peace returns faster. That's when many realize that talking too much opens unnecessary doors, while silence begins to reveal itself as a true spiritual barrier, one that, when used wisely, becomes protection. Silence works like an invisible shield for God's chosen ones. It prevents wars that never needed to start and saves energy that would otherwise be wasted on empty conflicts. When someone chooses not to react to provocation, doors automatically close to arguments, misunderstandings, and emotional games. This kind of silence is not passivity, it's spiritual intelligence applied to everyday life. Silence also prevents people from accessing your deepest pain and God's plans for your life. Not everyone who asks, "How are you?" truly cares, and not every ear is a safe place. By speaking less, you protect your spirituality and preserve your positive energy, preventing frustrations, dreams, and vulnerabilities from being used against you in the future. There's a simple phrase that sums this up well. Those who talk too much expose themselves. Those who stay silent preserve themselves. The more details you give, the more room there is for distortion, gossip, and manipulation. Silence creates clear boundaries without words and begins to reveal something important. It doesn't just protect, it also confuses those who are used to controlling situations through emotional reactions. Those who live waiting for reactions feed on chaos, emotion, and impulse. The enemy, whether external or internal, relies on sharp words, quick responses, and reckless actions. When God's chosen ones choose silence, something unexpected happens. The logic of confrontation collapses. No response means no fuel. No exposed emotion means no control. Silence throws others off balance because it frustrates expectations. Provocation expects anger, defense, or long explanations. When none come, control is lost and true intentions begin to surface. This is a clear sign of spiritual maturity, understanding that not every battle deserves to be fought. Many victories happen in the invisible realm, where no one applauds but peace remains. At this point, silence stops being just protection and becomes strategy. It strengthens self-control, calms the mind, and keeps spiritual energy aligned. While the other person exhausts themselves trying to provoke, the chosen one stands firm, observing. And this quiet posture raises a powerful question. If silence disarms so much, what happens when you realize that God also works in silence? There are moments when the greatest sign of faith is not spoken prayer, but silent trust. When God's chosen ones stop trying to defend themselves alone, something powerful happens behind the scenes of spirituality. Silence in this case is not emptiness. It's surrender. It's the decision to trust that God's plans don't depend on your explanations or your defense before the world. Many people exhaust themselves trying to prove their truth, when in reality, God acts more strongly when you remain silent. When control is released, spiritual energy realigns, and situations begin to resolve in unexpected ways. Those who spoke too much expose themselves. Lies collapse on their own, and paths adjust without excessive human effort. Silence creates space for God to speak on your behalf. There is deep peace in understanding that not every battle is yours. Some are too spiritual to be solved with words. When you remain silent, you show trust in divine timing, justice, and direction. And this quiet posture, often misunderstood, begins to reveal something important. Who stays when you don't explain yourself, and who is deeply bothered by your peace. Silence has a curious effect. It starts filtering people. When God's chosen ones stop reacting, stop explaining, and stop chasing validation, some relationships simply can't survive. People who fed on your attention, your spiritual energy, or your emotional availability begin to drift away. not because you became worse, but because you stopped supplying what sustained the connection. Others react in even more revealing ways. Silence irritates those who were used to controlling situations through your reactions. Your peace bothers them, your calm posture creates discomfort, and your positive energy starts to feel like a threat. This isn't coincidence. It's spiritual discernment in action. Those who can't handle your silence usually can't handle your growth. Over time, it becomes clear. Silence doesn't push away genuine people. It reveals intentions. Those who are real stay, even without constant explanations. Those who aren't expose themselves through impatience, criticism, or distance. And this quiet revelation leads to an essential question. If silence holds so much power, how do you know when to speak and when to remain silent? Silence is not eternal omission, and this must be clear. God's chosen ones are not silent out of fear, but out of spiritual discernment. There is a right time to speak and a right time to remain silent, and this sensitivity doesn't come from impulse, but from spiritual awakening. When words come before wisdom, they weaken. When they come at the right time, they build. Speaking out of pride, to prove worth, or to win arguments almost always comes at a high cost. Speaking with spiritual direction, however, brings clarity and authority, even with few words. It's about choosing battles wisely. Some require positioning, others demand absolute silence. The difference lies in intention. Speaking from anxiety drains energy. Speaking with purpose strengthens spirituality. Learning this balance transforms how conflicts and provocations are handled. Before responding, observe. Before reacting, breathe. Often, silence resolves more than long explanations ever could. And when speech finally comes, it carries weight, truth, and positive energy. This understanding opens space for something even more practical. How to apply all of this in real-life situations that truly test self-control. In daily life, silence can be used as a simple yet powerful tool. In family conflicts, for example, not every provocation needs an immediate response. Sometimes stepping away for a few minutes, taking a deep breath, and observing completely changes the direction of the conversation. This small act preserves spiritual energy and prevents words that, once spoken in the heat of the moment, cannot be taken back. When facing criticism or injustice, silence helps separate learning from noise. Instead of defending yourself automatically, ask internally, does this deserve my attention? Often, not reacting dismantles the other person's intention. This daily self-control strengthens spiritual awakening and creates a sense of peace that doesn't depend on external approval. Small habits make a big difference. Listening more than speaking, observing behaviors, limiting venting to those who are truly trustworthy. Over time, this practice brings clarity, inner strength, and more stable, positive energy. When silence is used consciously, life begins to flow with less exhaustion, preparing the heart for a strong closing that doesn't just inform, but invites transformation. In the end, silence doesn't diminish anyone. It reveals maturity, trust, and alignment with God's plans. God's chosen ones don't need to prove who they are. Their posture speaks for them. In a noisy world where everyone shouts to be seen, those who choose silence walk on a different frequency, protecting their spirituality and preserving their spiritual energy for what truly matters. This message isn't about shutting yourself off from life, but about positioning yourself wisely. Silence doesn't erase your voice. It strengthens the moment when it should be used. When this is understood, life becomes calmer, less draining, and spiritually clearer. Positive energy flows more lightly, and battles stop consuming what should be preserved. If this message resonated with you, comment below. I choose silence. Leave a like to support this message, subscribe to the channel to continue walking in this deeper understanding, and get ready, because in the next video, this conversation will go even deeper. Now that all of this is clear, the question is no longer whether silence is powerful, it's whether you have the courage to use it. How many times have you given away your spiritual energy trying to convince those who already decided not to understand you? How many battles are you still fighting that were never yours? God's chosen ones don't win by shouting louder. They win by knowing where to invest their voice, their attention, and their faith. From today on, observe more. Speak less, react less. Use silence in conflicts, criticism, provocation, and even injustice. Not as weakness, but as spiritual strategy. Notice how your positive energy is preserved, how your mind becomes clearer, and how God's plans begin to align without forced effort. Small shifts in posture create deep internal transformation. Now I want to challenge you. In which areas of your life do you need to learn to stay silent in order to finally move forward? Write in the comments what this video awakened in you. If this message spoke to your heart, subscribe, turn on notifications, and keep walking in this spiritual awakening, because the next video will go even deeper into a truth that few have the courage to teach.